CCACH was an umbrella organization that was intended to bring together representatives of organizations from a wide range across the continent and the Caribbean to try to address a range of needs. And one of those is youth education.
CCACH, to me, it's an organization that has been there for a lot of us, especially as immigrants who just come here.
One of the things that happened is that I found that our youth were all in university but working in McDonald's and working for Wendy's and working for this, low-entry jobs in summer. And I felt that was not progressive. One of the persons whom I asked to leave the job was Marika. I said, you know what, we'll start tutoring.
To this day, one of the core goals of CCACH is through their Saturday school, which helps to provide tutoring, mentorship to our children and youth.
Yeah, I think that's one of the signature programs for CCACH.
A lot of the Sudanese kids, when they landed in this country because of the war, when they were moved to this country, they were put in grades according to age. They were not put into grades according to what they know. So with Mrs. Odina being a teacher and seeing all of this, we started doing the tutoring, mainly helping those so they can catch up, they can be at the same level with their peers.
When we think about CCACH as an organization, there's so many things I think that CCACH could do, but again, we are a service, and so that's foundation. It's not stagnation to not do other things. It's about building foundations. So one of the greatest things that we do is our tutoring program, providing mentorship opportunities for young people.
When you introduce a tutoring program, number one, it gives these youth, it gives these children an opportunity to improve and enhance their academic progress.
The reason why I think the tutoring program works really well in terms of mentorship is that they're taught by young people who look like them, who have similar experience, who really understand not just the academic struggles or challenges or difficulties, but also their experience as Black students in an environment where they're often maybe not represented or where they don't belong.
So when we have something like a Saturday school and we can have the money to pay our university students to teach our kids, what a great blessing that is. Our young people have money in their pocket, they can pay for their tuition, they can get their degrees. They're also learning directly that they can help improve the lives of young people.
The tutoring program is a gift to the kids in so many ways, and part of it has to do with the context under which minority students historically, how they have fared when it comes to academic performances. We've known a lot of our Black youth have had to work twice as hard as the average person.
It really does wonders. I've seen kids who come in at the beginning of the program really not as confident, but by the end of the year, they're a lot more confident not only because they're performing better academically, but they're being motivated and inspired by their tutors. So that's a very important aspect of the program that we really try to encourage, that relationship between the tutor and the student.
Even just for a young person to have a conversation with somebody who's 20 years old or 18 years old, they're going to tell them things that they're not telling their parents. They're going to express to them what it's like to be within the school system that maybe they aren't having those conversations with parents. So I think that that's a huge service to allow a venue for kids to get some of those things off their chest, while at the same time feeling nurtured and mentored by that tutor.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm a tutor at AfroQuiz.
Hi, my name is Kayana, and I'm a tutor at AfroQuiz.
Hi, my name is Panina, and I'm a tutor at CCACH.
Hi, my name is Tariq, and I'm a tutor for CAS AfroQuiz.
There's the basic things like math and such like that, but then when it comes to the world and how the world perceives me and how I should perceive the world and deal with different things that will happen in my life, no race can teach me that as accurately as a Black tutor could. And that's why I'm so grateful that I've had Black tutors, because they show me the experience of a Black person. I think it's important to have that environment around you so that you're not bombarded with things that you never thought could happen, because this is not what I was taught, this is not the environment I was in, what's going on? But having a Black tutor, it prepares you for that.
I joke about this sometimes as well, but it feels like CACH was an underground movement for like the first 20 years because nobody knew about it. Like, there were very few tutors in the program, there were very few students that would get support, and now it's blown up to this massive group of people who just wants to help these kids and wants these kids to succeed. And I wish that this existed when I was a teenager trying to figure out and navigate my own identity and my own self. I mean, I was a great student, so I listened in class, I did all my homework. My father was a teacher as well, so I got a lot of extra tutoring and necessary educational support from him. But when it came to the mentorship aspect, it just would have been nice to be able to talk to an older Black girl that was also going through school to say hey, I'm getting teased about my hair, and should I straighten it like everybody else, or should I braid it? What do I do with it because people are teasing me? Or I don't really know what to do when it comes to ashy skin or makeup that looks bad, or just to have that component would have been so pivotal growing up.
The tutors sometimes have these power chats or mentee kind of chats with the students, where the students open up more than just what they're going through from an academic perspective, but really about what they're experiencing, whether it's how they are being treated by other students, or if there's support that they feel that they're not receiving from their school or their teachers. So the tutors help them navigate this difficult experiences, right?
And so the younger ones, it's not only about tutoring, but there's also that mentorship that goes on, which is really, really important, because then they can see the tutors coming back who have done well, they're at university and so on. And some of them have actually gone through the tutoring program. So that acts as a real good role model for the kids and encourages them, inspires them to work harder.
You know, when I was a kid, I wasn't seeing African university students around. I mean, I knew that we existed, but I wasn't seeing them. And I mean, I knew that there were people who were professionals, but that makes a giant difference. We had a youth program many years ago called the Kashotu Leadership Academy, and the classes were at the U of A campus, which I thought was a great idea because it meant that our high school kids were coming to the U of A and they were already feeling comfortable. It's like, this is a place that we belong.
The good thing is that we utilize the Black students that have done well to come back and tutor the younger ones.
The tutoring program is meant for Black kids who just want to, to keep up with school, or to stay ahead, or just to sort of catch up. That they have that added advantage, I think, of just being able to do well in school and achieve the academic milestones, right? And so it employs tutors who are university students, which is great because they are close enough in age to the students to really understand what the students are going through. They act as mentors, so they're not just tutoring them.
The biggest and most beautiful part to see is the mentorship aspect, and get to see sometimes students would show up with nothing and they would say, I'm dealing with a bully and I don't know what to do. And so the tutor, as part of their role as a mentor, and would be able to support them on that journey. Because we work with kids from grades 1 through 12, we would have some of our high school students show up again with nothing, but they may have a university application and say, look, I want to go to the U of A. Can you help me navigate my grades? I'm trying to get into NATE. What do I need to do to pass this course? So they'd come looking for real life advice. And I think for me, being the overseer, that was one of my favorite things to watch, was that mentorship really, really come into play.
Honestly, being able to be tutored by people that looked like me was pretty cool. Growing up, I always went to school and most of my teachers were races that didn't look like me. But all of a sudden, my mother brings my brother and I to CACH on a Saturday and everyone looks like you. My dream one day was to be a basketball player like Allen Iverson, or to be some sort of athlete. But then coming to an environment like the tutoring at CCACH, all of a sudden you're seeing some of the tutors that are professionals in the community with a variety of backgrounds, maybe engineers, accountants, and you see that these are functioning members of society that aren't just in entertainment. And whether or not you very consciously realize that, in the back of your mind, that says, hey, people like me too here in that space. It's possible.
It's very important for them to have access to Black tutors because I don't want to sound mean here, but not everyone can teach about Black history. And I feel that maybe having Black tutors can help them learn more about it.
To a parent, CCACH is an educator, a support system. Aside from that, to the community, CCACH is an organization that brings educated young Black people back into the fold to help educate younger Black people. Each one teach one, if you will.
This past summer, I took all the kids to Jamaica because I felt like with the COVID lockdowns and everything, I felt that we needed to get out of here. We needed to go somewhere. We need to connect. And I wanted to go to Jamaica with them for 2 months. I wanted the whole summer for us to be in Jamaica, just fully engrossed in the culture. Maya always has, the braids and the beads in her hair. We enrolled in a summer school there. And when I took her there the first day, she came home and we video called with Christine, with Mommy. And Mommy asked her, so how was your first day at school? How did you feel? And her response was, great. And Mommy said, why? She said, other kids had beads in their hair. Just that little simple little thing there. Other kids had beads in their hair. Think about that. So if she goes to school here with beads in her hair, she feels different. But she goes to Jamaica and there are other Black kids with beads in their hair. That little thing, she recognized it and she was able to tell her mom back in Canada that that's different. That's cool, that's nice. That makes her feel good. So here now in Edmonton, going to the CCACH tutoring program every Saturday, she has Black tutors there, she's learning math and she's getting help with language arts. She can see that, okay, I can be that good at math. Math doesn't have to be scary.
The tutoring program is exciting. She loves to go. It's a quiet environment. I find that for her to have improved learning, she needs to really be able to focus, and we've noticed that's a challenge for her. So having that one-on-one time is really important. She may get it at school, we don't get to see it, but having that extra time and knowing that there's a facility that we can bring her to actually have it happen is really comforting, that there's somewhere we can go to that has people that look like her that can help her get better and get stronger in things that she's not that confident in, and thinking that she'll never get confident in, but seeing those stones being put together, and she's like, actually, I do remember my times table. I do remember this, and we worked on that week after week with my tutor, and so now she's getting to get a bit better with it.
Oh, I think it's so important to have teachers that will support you or bat for you. For CCACH, I used to do their tutoring. I used to be one of their tutors, and I remember one of our students, he had a math test and we helped him prepare for the math test and he aced it, and his teacher came back and said, how are you cheating? How did you get the answers? Do they have the teacher's copy of the textbook? How is it that you aced this? And it got to the point where this student, he was like, don't teach me too much because I don't want to bring attention to myself. That's how I learned about the self-fulfilling prophecy, that this teacher did not think that a student could do so well on his own.
It's so nice to be able to work one-on-one with a student. My largest class size that I had at my school was 31 students, 31 sixth grade students. And sixth graders today, are big people. They're not little. They're tall and they're sturdy. So 31 individuals in a room plus me was a lot. But being able to work one-on-one with a student just to say, how can I specifically help you with your learning needs, was a really special thing. I think it was special for the students as well because they didn't have to combat with 30 other kids or 25 other kids in their classroom or whatever the total might have been for them. They had the attention of an adult who could help them for 1 hour. And so most students make that hour worth it. They come prepared, they come with all of their materials, and they are like, I don't understand fractions. I've tried, but my teacher's busy. My teacher has lots of kids. And as a teacher myself, I get that. And I feel bad for my students when I would be too busy or I'd be running around trying to support this student and this student and this student. In today's day and age, unfortunately, students aren't given as much attention as they need for their learning needs. So being able to step in as a side teacher or a tutor and say, hey, let me give you an hour of my time to help you with fractions or help you with skip counting or help you with calculus. Let me do that for you. I think that's a really special bond that the tutors and students get to have.
My name is Fanny.